presidential candidate for ODM if ODM decides that it goes it alone.
When Sifuna says something, anakuwa threatened. Sisi, we are not cowards, my friend.
Hii vita yote unasikia nikipigwa ndani ya chama cha ODM ni kwa sababu moja tu. Nimesema Ruto one term.
Tonight, the Orange Democratic Movement finds itself fighting not in the streets but within its own ranks as the road to 2027 takes shape. Or is it slowly aligning itself with the government, HABUBA?
You know, first, you needed to...
And it is the party leader. And it is the party leader speaking. I am the presidential candidate for ODM if ODM decides that it goes it alone.
When Sifuna says something, anakuwa threatened. Sisi, we are not cowards, my friend.
Hii vita yote unasikia nikipigwa ndani ya chama cha ODM ni kwa sababu moja tu. Nimesema Ruto one term.
Tonight, the Orange Democratic Movement finds itself fighting battle not in the streets but within its own ranks as the road to 2027 takes shape. Now, ODM leaders are pulling in different political directions, some backing President William Ruto, others insisting that the party must field its own candidate. Public accusations, sharp exchanges at funerals, unanswered questions about campaign millions and open declarations of presidential ambitions are now spilling into the open, with the late Raila Amolo Odinga no longer at the center holding the party together. The big question tonight is the ODM redefining its future or tearing itself apart before the race even begins? Now joining me in studio this particular morning is OKELLO Stephen, who is a political analyst. Good evening, sir.
Hey, good evening too. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and many thanks, of course, making time to be with us here on the program.
Thank you.
All right, and just right next to him is HABUBA, who is an activist. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
And many thanks, of course, for making time to be with us here on the program.
Thank you too for hosting us today.
All right, now let's get to this particular conversation. Now, ODM, appears divided on its 27 political direction. We've seen, some of the members of the ODM, saying that they will support President William Ruto in the upcoming 2027 general elections. Others saying that they should field candidates in regards to that general elections. Now, is the party still on, the opposition force, or is it slowly aligning itself with the government, HABUBA?
First, you needed to understand that the current situation in ODM right now, some people who are there, they are there because they are looking for their own benefit, not for the benefit of the ODM party. And the current situation of ODM party is not the situation that was in the recent time of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. We have seen some people, some few individuals in the party, like Sifuna, Win Odinga, wakisimama na chama. While the other hand, somebody like Junet Mohammed, Joho, the same brother to the late Raila Amolo Odinga, Oburu Odinga himself, bettering the party. Pale ambapo wanasema kwamba wajiunge na mlengo wa UDA, na huku Mheshimiwa Sifuna, Wino Odinga, wakiwa upande akina Babu Wino, wakiwa upande wa kusema kwamba haiwezekani. Sisi tunatimiza zile vao ambazo mwanzilishi wa chama aliweka, the late Raila Amolo Odinga. While the other party tunasikia kwamba they met at night time wakifanya discussion vile watauza chama because of their own interest, not the interest of Kenyan, not the interest of the party.
All right, we'll come to that. And Okello Stephen.
Yes.
ODM appears divided ahead of the 2027 general elections. Do you share the same views as J. HABUBA? We've seen, some ODM members actually, most of them allied to the ODM in one way or the other. We've seen CSs who are in government, who are employed by the head of state. We've seen the likes of alias Njoho, who's the CS for mining, and Treasury CS, that is John Badi. Some of the CSs in government are actually supporting the government, saying that they will support the government come 2027. Whereas, other leaders, the likes of the ODM-SG, that is Edwin Sifuna, saying that they should actually field a candidate in the upcoming 2027 polls. Now, from where you sit, is ODM still, on the opposition force, or is it, slowly aligning itself with the government?
What is there and the reality, ODM has never divided, and it is still a one house.
Yeah.
It was. Earlier, before the death of Baba, we had two parties in the ODM. The one speaking for the people,
yeah,
and the one speaking for the government. And the same party is still there. One is the one house having two people speaking different mind. But later they come to one conclusion. Now let us do this and let us not do this. As per now, ODM is not divided. They are just ideas, people bringing on board, like Babu Owino, trying to bring the idea on board, not divided. The DM is still one house under one umbrella, Chungwa. And what people think the ODM is divided, yeah, when Babu Owino speaks his mind, and when also Alai speaks his mind. This means in a house, people have different brains, and you cannot have the same brain in the house. So for the house to move and to develop well, you have to have different ideas. Earlier, ODM, when Ruto went to Baba and they formed the government. And this thing, Ruto, the president, is a member of ODM and the founder of ODM. So when he went outside the house, coming back inside the house is not a big deal. It's like a prodigal son, yeah, who went out and came back to the father. When he came back to the father, he came back to the father to get the wisdom how to run the country. Yeah. And Baba gave him the people who has also the wisdom, the expert, to help him run the country. Not only that, when the country is running smooth, my brother HABUBA, we don't bring chaos. Because if there's chaos in the country, there's no trade. Right. And yes.
Fair enough. And we spoke about, divergent views. You said some leaders actually. You mentioned Kileleshwa MCA, that is Robert Alai,
yeah,
and Babu Owino. Actually, recently it is in the public domain that we saw some altercation, a bit of scuffle between Robert Alai and Babu Owino. Now, we spoke about, people might have divergent views in the party.
Yeah.
But should they, sort their issues internally instead of, publicly sorting their issues?
Yeah, it depends with the situation and where, yeah, it was with the time. When Babu Owino was passing through, he saw his brother Robert Alai. With the good heart, he wanted to just pass the greetings that my brother, how are you going? Yeah. Then with the guilt of Robert Alai, as we know, Robert Alai is not a politician, he's a blogger. So he was a blogger in the street, and picked from the street with Baba to the house. Then told, you will be my son, adopted son, right? Because he was never in any political party. He was just a street blogger. So when a street blogger brought inside the house, then this street blogger, adopted son, feels superior than the biological sons you found in that house. So Robert Alai should go back and check his character, because in politics also, being a leader of our area, being a leader of people, yeah, it needs a character. Not everything can be solved by fighting in the street. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now J. HABUBA can say he wants to weigh into the matter. Now, from the views of Okello Stephen, he said that, in the party, members can have, divergent views. From where we see we've actually seen Edwin Sifuna, throwing jabs at Junaid Mohammed, saying, the 500 million scandal that he alleges that was given to him by the former president, that is Uhuru Kenyatta. And yet again, we saw ODM, a member of ODM, that is Kileleshwa Ward MCA, that is Robert Alai, as well as Babu Owino, having some sort of altercation that was witnessed in some hotel in Nairobi. Now, from where we sit, and according to OKELLO Stevens' remarks about, people might have divergent views, should, members of the same party, issue public jabs, in public platforms?
Before answering that question, when my brother was speaking, I was keenly listening. And what I've come to learn is that he was not speaking as compatriot, as speaking to them as to the mind of Kenyans, but he was speaking to himself. My brother said that ODM is not separated. But the reality is, ODM is an opposition party, and the UDA is a national party or ruling party. And the opposition means standing with the people, standing with the citizens. Na kama wao ni kusimama na watu, kwa nini wao ndani wanarumbana? Tunasikia hapa juzi Kaluma, nafikiri ni mbunge wa Homa Bay, akisema kwamba Edwin atupo nje. Juzi tumeona seneta wa Migori akisema kwamba amefaili petition Sifuna aondolewe nje na atolewe. Pia tumeona blogger, mimi siwezi muite MCA, blogger Robert Alaya akisema kwamba Winnie anaongea akili yake na hajakomaa kisiasa, pia anapaswa atupwe nje. Swali ambalo ningependa kumuuliza ndugu yangu ni kwamba katika uchambuzi wake wa siasa anapaswa kuwa makini na kusimama ile hati ambayo inahitajika, kwamba ODM imegawanyika. Na ODM kuwa opposition ni kumaanisha kwamba ni kusimama na wananchi na mahitaji na itikadi za wananchi ambazo zinahitajika. Sasa kuonyesha kwamba kuna mgawanyiko mkubwa hapo, ambapo pia wale watu ambao unaona wako hapo wako kwa ajili ya personal interests. Tukiangalia Mheshimiwa Joe, hana jambo la maana ambalo amefanya kwa nchi yetu ya Kenya, lakini yupo pale, amekuwa pale watu wakisema yes tunampenda baba, lakini sasa hivi ni yeye baadhi ya watu namba moja kubomoa chama. Tukiangalia pia Junet yupo pale kwa personal interest. Tukiangalia huyu blogger wa Kileleshwa Robert Alaya amefanya nini Kileleshwa? Instead ya kusimama na kusupport chama cha ODM kuwa kama opposition, anagawanyisha. Ni jambo ambalo lileti shangwe. Kwa hivyo jambo la muhimu pale ningetarajia kusikia kwa ndugu Steve as a commentator ni kwamba suluhisho itafutwa katika chama cha ODM ili kizidi kushikilia upande wa wananchi na kusimama kama opposition, ndiposa Kenya isipoteze mwelekeo. Siku zote nyumba ama ukijenga nyumba bila pira, always the house will fall, na haitakuwa na maana.
All right, even you mentioned Migori Senator Okech, who actually petitioned and rather motion to oust Edwin Sifuna, and of course he has actually withdrew the petition, to have ODM SG Edwin Sifuna to be ousted. Now, Mr. OKELLO Stephen.
Yes, I'm here.
ODM Secretary General, that is Edwin Sifuna, has announced himself, has stated that, what binds ODM with President William Ruto's UDA government is, the broad-based government signed between him and the late party leader, that is Raila Odinga. But does, this agreement signed with, the late Raila Odinga, hold its moral and political legitimacy after even Raila's death, and who has now, the authority to interpret it or negotiate it given that, the signature right there is, the late party leader?
You see, before even I answered that, my brother was talking about the opposition.
Yeah.
Right now in Kenya, we know the real opposition is not ODM. The real opposition is DCP party with Gachagua. So that's the opposition. So anything going against people, your Gachagua should be addressing the nation and giving people the direction of opposition. And for the ODM, they signed, I know they signed to work with the government. And the period they signed to work with the government, they are not allowed to be oppositions. They are allowed to work with the government. You can see the CS, the ODM party gave the government, and also tukirudi hapa upande wa Sifuna. Sifuna is the HG. And when that thing was being signed, Sifuna himself said that he's not part of that government. He's being signed. Yeah. Yeah. And he told Baba he's not part. Yeah, at a Baki opposition. And this is the house where two people have divided, and there's what we call antagonist. And everybody in this Kenya, my brother HABUBA, everybody fights for their interest. There's nobody who doesn't fight for their interest. Even the opposition party, DCP party, they fight for their interest. Yeah. And if the president can call them together on the table and say, today we are giving you this, stop this nonsense of shouting in the street, Gachagua will take it home. So when Gachagua takes it home, does not mean those followers have taken it home. The followers have said, it's like we have been betrayed. No, nobody has betrayed you. In Kenya, everybody looks at the interest. What is your interest? What is my interest? If I help you do this, what is my interest? If we combine to this project, what is my interest in that project? That's how Kenya is. And with Sifuna, Sifuna has not done anything bad because he has been shouting and alerting Kenyans what is happening and what should be done. And Sifuna is doing the right thing because the government needs to be put in check every time, so there's no mess. So when Sifuna talks, he talks like, he talks for people, right? Right. Yeah, he talks for people. And also when Mbadi CS talks, he talks for the government, right? So we have to have the government and the opposition. Is then when the country can move on well. Already we have the opposition, the DCP party. So we don't need ODM also to be part of the opposition of DCP party. Let Gachagua do that thing with his party and with his team, so that they will put the government into check. And the government will be doing the right things, not the bad things. But as far as we are with the government right now, the government is doing good. And the manifestos of Mr. President Ruto, he gave people during the campaign period, is now putting them into implementation in the country Kenya. And if you check around, there are things he has done, and there are things he has not done. Within a period of these 3 years, he has done something somebody can do even in the period of 10 years.
All right. Yeah. You spoke about, Edwin Sifuna actually. He has been vocal. Yeah. He has announced himself not once that, the ODM party remains in the opposition, and that what binds them is the broad-based agreement, the 10-point agenda that actually binds the opposition and the government. Yeah. Now, you mentioned that, the ODM party right now is not fully in the opposition. You said that, the likes of what they now call themselves the united oppositions, can castigate the government right now. Yeah. But, when this particular agreement was being signed, Sifuna was actually vocal and saying, we are not supporting the government. We want, this 10-point agenda is to be implemented. Now, one of the things in the 10-point agenda was, the end to the, the abductions that have been, going on before they actually signed the broad-based agreement, and we've seen abductions going on.
Right now, there's no abduction. If there is abduction, you can tell me who was abducted last night.
No. We saw the likes of Bob Njagi
recently
being arrested.
Being arrested and abduction is different.
That was actually abduction because
being arrested, there's a warrant of arrest, right?
Yeah.
Then you have just quoted being arrested. You are being arrested after breaking the law, which is there in the law. You see, we need to read the Constitution, and you know what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. We should not be reading Constitution one side that favors you.
First,
yes,
you need to accept that Bobu Njagi and Nicholas Oyo, they were not arrested, but they were abducted. Because, you know, when you are speaking, the person you are speaking with, Mr. Felix Wambua and I, we were the one who went to the parliament for petitioning that those people to be released. Mr. Felix Wambua and I. Now, Mr., when you are telling me that they were not abducted, and they were abducted, and they went missing, and
friend,
nobody who was there, how you have
when
that?
was
No,
that?
no, listen to
so
me.
I want to know the reason why they were arrested. Did they commit any crime?
They did not commit any crime because, you know, we have what we call the EAC, the East Africa Community. We are the citizen of East Africa Community. You understand that very well. And I have a right to go to Tanzania. I have a right to go to Uganda to stand with my people. And you can't tell me that...
You see, you have a right to go to Uganda. But the laws in Uganda does not favor you as the laws in Kenya.
Are Uganda among the member of East Africa Community, yes or no? Are
yes, they are. But my question comes,
we as East Africa Community, do we have the constitution that guide the citizens of East Africa Community? Do we have it, yes or no?
You are a Kenyan.
No.
What was the business?
You were to answer my question.
What was the business
we don't
in
have
Uganda?
the constitution, or we have the constitution.
The Kenyan's constitution we have, and the Kenya constitutions guide us very well.
I'm not talking about the Kenyan constitution. Yes. I'm talking about the East Africa constitution.
The East African constitution is there.
And you don't know it, right?
I know it. It's there.
No, fair enough. It is in the public domain.
Yes.
That we saw that, you know, Ugandan president, that is Yoweri Museveni, actually said that they had Nicholas Oyo and Bob Njagi in the fridge.
Yeah.
And that means actually, you know, in the first account when they were announced missing, you know, the Ugandan government announced that they don't know about their whereabouts.
Yes.
But later on, the head of state actually, during an interview with a local TV station, he said that they had the two in the fridge. Now, and the Kenyan government actually, and the Office of Foreign Affairs and you know, those matters to do with foreign affairs remained silent.
Let me ask you a simple question, Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
When you want to move away from your country, going to the other country, which law binds you? And does the government, your government knows that you're going there, and which type of business are you going to do there?
You know,
because your protection comes from the government, because you are a Kenyan citizen. You should be protected when you go to Uganda or Tanzania. But if you are not protected and you come from Kenya, means the government doesn't know that you are to go there and to do a business there.
But when you cross borders, actually, you know, we have what we call visitation. You can say
temporary permit
in a country for a stipulated period of time. So there is a visitation, you know, time, kind of agreement that you know, I'll be here for 1 week, then I'll be back to my country.
And when you go to visit Uganda, you go for your own business. Who told you to go and cause chaos in the country which is not yours?
And what I know, you have no evidence of a compatriot Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo causing chaos in Uganda. And I think the question you asked the host, Mr. Martin Macharia, that question you were to ask me, because as an activist and a presenter, a journalist, you know,
they work one
there is something that you don't understand, because he asked you something. When you want to cross to Uganda or to Tanzania, we have temporary permittee of 7 days. And you must state that I, Mwanaharakati J. HABUBA, I'm going to Uganda to do so and so within the period of 7 days or more than. And they allow you. It means the border authority, they allowed Mr. Bobu Njagi and Nicholas Oyo to enter Uganda. But they were detained unlawfully. And I want to take you back that when you went to Ugandan court, the judge denied, and they have never seen such those people in their country. And later, Dictator Museveni come out and told the citizens of East Africa that he detained them and put them into fridge. Unaona?
Yeah.
Now, hawezi kuja kutuambia
international
TV kwamba they were being their own business.
Let me ask you a simple thing. When you go to Uganda, you are a Kenyan.
Yeah.
What is your business to Uganda? Is it the business that benefits the country of Uganda and Kenya, or is your own benefit? And if it is your own benefit, are you allowed to go and break the law in somebody's country? Because in that country, they have their law that governs them. And if you go there, you have to abide with the laws. And if you go and break the law, you will be arrested. Even here in Kenya, if you break the law even right now, you will be arrested. So why are you advocating for lawbreakers?
My brother, I think you are asking something which is out of this topic. Even if I ask you that, tell me the law those people they break, you can't. You see, and listen to me.
You see, the
if
police
you are
cannot arrest you without.
How dare you supporting a
the police
country
cannot
where
just
even they
come
don't
here,
understand
then
their
arrest
law?
you without breaking the law. There's something you have done bad, is why you are being arrested. Or there's some allegation that you have done. You are being arrested, then there's some investigation. You see, activists normally think they are safe when they speak their mind. But when you speak your mind, check. Whatever you are speaking, is it right? Are
you speaking as the citizen of East Africa, or are speaking as the citizen of Kenya, or as a competitor?
I'm speaking as now a Kenyan.
A Kenyan?
Yes, as a citizen,
Are you a member of East Africa community?
Right,
Kenya is a member of East African community, and I'm a Kenyan, so I'm a member.
Fair enough. Now let's talk matters about the internal battles in the ODM. Now ODM now is currently navigating its first major election cycle without Raila Odinga as its anchor. Now, given what has been happening in the party, the internal battles, was ODM built on one man, Mr. OKELLO?
When the ODM was being formed, it had its founders like our president, William Samuel Ruto, was the core committee member of the ODM. When they met together with the Raila Amolo Odinga, Najib Balala, they are Pentagon, group of 5. They came together and built the ODM. Then after building the ODM is not Raila's party, it's Kenyan's party, right? So the Raila come into picture by being superior courage to build this party and fight the government due to things like corruption and kutetea wananchi. Unaona? Kutetea wananchi. Unaona? That's why the ODM was built in a ground ya kutetea wananchi. Then after being built to kutetea wananchi, then what follows? Now we want to be a president. Then once you want to be a president means you want to be a government, right? Once you want to be a government, then these things go south. Then you never get that position of being the president. Then this does not mean the house should be falling. The house should be scattered. The house should be collected, and the minds should be collected, the ideas, to continue with the vision of the party. So right now, I think the members of ODM and the committee members are planning whom to be flag bearer.
It means you are not sure. You think.
Thoughts become life and facts.
Before we continue this night, can you withdraw the statement that the William Samoei Ruto is the founder of ODM?
I cannot withdraw the statement because he was there, and they even helped us during 2007. He campaigned for the ODM party, campaigned for Raila. So we cannot deny it. It is there. It was there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now you spoke about flag bearing of the ODM party and the current ODM party leader, that is Oburu Oginga, who's actually the brother to the late Raila Odinga, declared that he is the ODM presidential candidate if the ODM fields one in 2027. That is according to the constitution of the ODM party. Now, is this we've seen actually leaders, the likes of Sifuna, where he said, quote unquote, that they should actually field a candidate come 2027, and then he said that hata mimi naweza kwa nini. So from where you sit, do you see the deepening rift in the ODM party?
Everybody wants to be a leader, mostly in political arena, and there's channel to be followed for you to be a leader. You look at yourself on the mirror, then you ask yourself, can you lead this country? And kama wewe ni mtu wa hasira, wachana nayo. I do tell people, my brother, if you have high-tempered, you should not even marry, because you will not enjoy the marriage because of these women will put you into check. So if Sifuna wants to be the president of Kenya, Sifuna, I see something in him. Amependa kukasirika haraka and kushout. A leader, you should be humble and you should be calculating.
My brother, that statement, you needed to take it to Junet. Anapenda kukasirika haraka. Why are you talking to a person who stands with the citizens of Kenyan?
And I also love Sifuna.
When we talk of gentlemen in these countries, Sifuna is one of them. But when we talk of men or boys, we understand Junet Mohammed is still is a boy.
I don't dispute your point, but the fact is, when you want to be a leader, you have to humble yourself, you lower your temper, you don't be high-tempered. Because somebody like Sifuna, akikasirika, anaweza nyonga mtu.
When you are talking akikasirika, why don't you talk to the people who stood with Gen Z during the time where that person who was, you told us, or you are talking about that he is the founder of ODM, decided to kill the Kenyans, Gen Z. Unaona? Listen to me.
That one is a serious allegation.
No, serious. Tumeona vijana wamepigwa risasi. And I was a man nikiwa kupale. Tumeona baba akidurumiwa. And I was there seeing. Tuone the incidents of Okware. Ambapo gari yake ati imepigwa risasi. And the Sifuna, they were there. Walisimama. Where was Junet that time? Where was Robert alive?
Let me ask you, what did Sifuna
lazima tu baba amesimama kutetea maisha ya Wakenya, amesimama kutetea vijana.
What did Sifuna to block the bullets first?
Alikuwa sauti ambazo zilikuwa zimenyamazishwa.
Fair enough. And Mr. J. HABUBA, ODM party leader, that is Oburu Oginga, announced himself as the aspiring presidential candidate come 2027 if the party decides to field one come 2027, citing constitutional, citing the party's constitution. Now, is this a constitutional clarity or a move that risks to alienate other leaders who within the party?
Mr. Macharia, the country we are, this Kenya, haitaji yule mtu mwenye anaongea kwa kunongoneza mtu. Kenya inahitaji mtu ambaye anajijua kwamba akisimama kuongea, ataongea hata kama pointi ni ya uongo ama ni ya ukweli, Wakenya watasikiza. Tell me, If Mr. Oburu Odinga hawezi tembea hata kutoka hapa afike town, hii Kenya yote ndiye ataweza kuongoza? Hawezi. Actually hawezi. In ODM, if we have the person to consider as the presidential bearer coming 2027, we can consider as a gentleman like Sifuna. Basi, instead of taking Oburu Odinga to be the presidential bearer, si hata tuchukue dada yake with the name Ruth Odinga. At least akisimama kuongea kwa Wakenya tunaona kwamba she's a woman speaking in front of this country. Lakini mtu mwenye tunashindwa anakaa night meeting anasaliti chama. That is very wrong. And we can't agree and entertain that in our country.
Fair enough, Mr. Yes. Sometime back in 2025, towards the end of 2025, we saw actually the party leader, that is Oburu Odinga, actually said that if the ODM party supports government, that they would take less than a deputy president position, the office. What's your take on that?
ODM party is a big party.
Yeah.
Is a national party. And when you are negotiating on a table, the shares should be equal. If UDA gives presidential candidate, then ODM gives the deputy president. Then all the ministers and CS be shared the same. Because these are a national party. Yeah. And coming on the table. And again, in ODM, you said about you are campaigning for Sifuna to be the president. You are just right, and I don't dispute your point.
I'm not campaigning, but I'm speaking on behalf of over 50 million Kenyans.
But because 50 million Kenyans,
as you are talking, you also needed to withdraw your statement that ODM should provide presidential candidate coming 2027. Don't you remember June 24th?
In that party,
no. Don't you remember June 24th?
In the party, we have several people.
We are talking about Raila here.
Yes.
ODM here. Don't you remember the incidents of Okware where Babu was almost heated?
That's the politics.
Are you a Kenyan? Are you a Kenyan?
In politics,
are you a Kenyan?
Good and bad.
Are you a Kenyan? Yes or no?
That question should be withdrawn because I'm a Kenyan by birth, by citizen.
And you are not a patriotic, right? You are not a patriotic Kenyan.
Just a minute, Mr. HABUBA. When we go back to the party of ODM, the party of ODM has the most intelligent, learned, educated people.
Mention them.
We have Gladys Wanga.
That is a noise maker. She's a noise maker in this country.
We have Millie.
What has she done in this country?
You could have asked, what has she done in the locality, the area he was elected?
No, you know, when you say learned, it means the whole country she is recognized.
Yeah, Millie is a lawyer, by the way, if you don't know. Yeah, and she has been speaking the voice of people and protecting people. Mostly Millie focus on girl child. And she has been protecting the girl child in the nation. Right?
Now another learned one from ODM?
There are so many. I cannot count them all.
Gentlemen,
we have Babu Oweno there.
Right.
He's very learned.
Yeah.
Oburu, the same, is learned but old. Right?
You are right.
Yeah. Sifuna is learned.
Very right.
Yes. And there are so many. Kaluma is learned.
Kaluma?
Yes.
All right. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about Mr. OKELLO actually spoke about ODM. The party leader announced himself that the party won't take less than the deputy president office if they were to support the government come 2027. Now, according to the agreement, the broad-based agreement, they're actually in government because of the 10-point agenda signed between the former party leader, that is the late Raila Odinga, and the UDA's flag bearer, that is President William Ruto.
Yeah.
And now the ODM now is saying that if they support government, they won't take less than the DP position. Do you foresee that the course is shifting?
It's not shifting because before they came to the broad-based government, they sat down and they said, this is the agenda we want to oversee and work with them, improve, implement within this period before 2027. When 2027 comes, this is a new agreement because they never agreed to support one another during 2027, right? So when 2027 comes, you comes again on the table for new agreement from 2027 to 2032.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. J. HABUBA.
Yes.
Do you foresee a situation where, the mwananchi actually is, sort of betrayed?
Very true. You are right. Wamesalitiwa kwa sababu yule aliyekuwa taa amezima. Na alipozima aliacha taa zingine zikiwaka. Lakini wale wajanja wapo ndani pale sasa wanazidi kuzima hizo taa na mwananchi anabaki mwenyewe, because you heard Mr. Steve talking about opposition party. We Kenyans, we don't recognize DCP as a opposition party. You understand that very well. But we recognize, when I'm talking, you must listen. We as Kenyan, right? We recognize ODM as opposition party. And when you are talking about the signed agreement, you mentioned the corruption. You mentioned the corruption, and the corruption you see, when you are talking corruption and you are talking corruption in ODM, you need to start a point where corruption ilifanya kazi, and that time our own, the man of interest, Baba alitaka kuwa rais na pesa zake za kampeni zikakuwa misused. Na the akina Junet, you need to start from there, and you quote that it is corruption in capital letter. And now tunakuja tunaona kwamba because tulipoteza baba hakuwa president na pia tukampoteza kimaisha, and that is why unaona wananchi tumesalitiwa. Wananchi saizi hatuna penye tunalilia, wale watu tunajaribu kuona bado pia wanafinyiriwa. Wananchi saizi tunategemea akina Sifuna, akina Babu. And when you are talking wananchi, tunaona pia hata Babu juzi amedhurumiwa na blogger Robert Alai. Sasa wananchi kama wale ambao tunawategemea na wanadhurumiwa, so wananchi hana sauti.
Mr. HABUBA, how can you explain? Babu Owino is the MP, right? Robert Alai is MCA. How can you say MCA intimidated an MP and it just goes scot-free? This means this person is has not calculated well. So Babu needs to go back to the drawing board. Why just a mere MCA and threatened life?
Let us not waste time. You know, when you are talking about Babu Owino, can you define what is leadership? MP. To be a leader, you must be humble and you must understand yourself. Babu could not be attacked na anze vurugu pale, lakini aliact kama yeye.
Then kama aliact kama yeye. What does Babu done for that incident? Babu should have reported the incident. This guy to be arrested.
Na alifanya. No, already umeona isha hatua zimechukuliwa. Unajua what is going on.
As we talk, Robert has been arrested or not?
Not yet, the case is going on.
So how can the case go on without somebody
investigation?
So say the investigation, not the case. Because if you talk about the case is already in the court and is going on. And the Robert is still working scot-free. So you say the investigation is going on, and the investigation should not even take long because the incident happened, and they should right now Robert Alai should be.
And is that now corruption and citizen denial? Yes or not?
That's not corruption. Yeah. That's not corruption because I'm still asking if Babu has reported. Why is it Robert Alai is still walking the street, not arrested and in the court of law?
I think that question you could ask the DCI and the
No, not asking the DCI, asking you because you are the person who brought it on the table. Now we are discussing it. So answer me.
Fair enough. Now, the ODM Vice Chairperson Otinda Molo, in regards to Sifuna and Junet, throwing jabs at each other in publicly. During a press, actually, some few days ago, he said that he urged the two to stop public verbal attacks and resolve the differences internally. Now, is this call for unity too late?
It's not true.
And can we trust ODM if if they're actually having internal battles. Can you trust ODM to steer the country come to 2027?
Every house has those bloggers who tries to destroy the reputation of the house.
Yeah.
Because even kwa familia utapata ule kijana kuna ule mwenye apendwi na watu hapa kwa familia juu ya brain ako nayo. Na kuna ule mwenye amependwa juu yeye ni mtumbafu. Kuna ule kupendwa ya utumbafu na kuna kule kupendwa ya ile ya ukweli. So ODM as a party can still lead the nation. Why? There's only some few cracks that can be filled in the party, and getting these people like now the issue of Robert Alai and Babu Owino. Alai is now is going overboard. Let's now say the truth.
Yeah.
Alai is going overboard. We can remember the incident of Ringtone. Alichapa Ringtone kichwa na rungu. And there's a time he also fought in front of Baba. This is why I say this is a street blogger picked to be a leader. And he doesn't have any qualities of leadership in this country.
Right.
And for these incidents, these crime scenes he has committed, this guy should be arrested and be answerable in the court of law. Because you cannot just attack somebody, beat somebody.
Yeah.
The country is not yours. We are being governed by law. And you cannot just come and attack area member, MP. This is a big figure in the country. Embakasi. Babu is a big figure in the country. How can just a mere MCA who was just a blogger, who doesn't know anything in politics, can attack an MP and he goes scot-free? And you find Peter Kaluma supporting. This is where I draw my line. Why do you support this incident of hooliganism and thuggery in the country? And these are leaders. So we advocate for leaders to go for what we call training seminars to know what to be done and not what to be done.
So it's an ODM issue because when we look back, we actually saw some time back Peter Salasia also in a public event, who's also allied to the ODM party.
Yeah.
He actually, slapped a man in a public event that went viral.
That's why I say, as a man before you marry, that's why Peter Salasia has not yet married, because of his anger issue. He can even beat the wife to death. So you need to control your anger issue first, before even marrying, before even having a girlfriend. So before even having a girlfriend, you need to control your anger issue. What about leadership?
But
because you are controlling people.
Mr. Machari, he did not answer the question. And I was keenly listening, waiting. Your answer maybe could be like, in ODM, either we are going to take some other people outside from the chama. So we meaning with the people, all members,
Mr.
sorry
Buba,
to use the
I've
people, all members
is only
who are
in a
going.
class we have Slolanas. I understand you as a Slolana. So I've just answered you in a unique way that these people, there's something needs to be taken serious.
As a gentleman, you come out clearly. Why are you hiding?
Right, fair enough. Now let's take a look at the InfoTrack polls, which are the recent InfoTrack polls that was in the year 2025, maybe towards the end of the year. And the InfoTrack report says that President William Ruto leads presidential preference by 28%, while ODM's Babu Owino stands at 7%. Of course, let me take that again. President William Ruto at 28%, Dr. Farmer Tiani, that is allied to the Jubilee Party of the former president, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, at 13%, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka at 12%, and Babu Owino at 7%, Rigathi Gachagua of DCP at 5%, Martha Karua and David Maraga at 2%. Now, what does this say about ODM's national appeal heading into 2027, given that, InfoTrack polls report, the recent one that was in 2025, recognizes Babu Owino, not even the party leader?
But the fact is, Babu Owino is not the party leader. He's a member of parliament. Yeah. He doesn't have any post in ODM. That's the fact.
But the InfoTrack polls recognizes Babu Owino as the most preferred presidential candidate with 7%.
It's just preferred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And this InfoTrack polls,
Yeah.
where do they do their polls in the first place? Because they just talk big with nothing on the table. They always talk big, and they can ruin your life. In fact, these people can ruin your life as a politician if you you base your facts on them.
Yeah.
These people, there's nowhere they do interview for people, live interview, to ask people, Kenyans. They need to ask Kenyans, because Kenyans knows the best. But to them, with the laptop, in the cyber, in the internet, they just sit down, they just do their calculation, they say, this one is leading, this one is leading.
Right.
And the votes, where do these people get the votes, first place? And who are those people who have been interviewed? Because you cannot tell me the poll states this, but people have not voted. Are you getting that?
Yeah.
And voting online, let you not be cheated in Kenya. Votes are on the ballot. And ukiangalia hizi votes za online, as a leader, utakuwa umekufa. Because I do give my kid a phone. He can even vote. But on the ground, hana ID, unaona? Hana kura. So vitu za online wachana nayo. Kuja kwa ground. Wakuje kwa ground hapa waulize wa Kenya. What do you see in 2027 who can be the best presidential candidate? Then the Kenyans will answer that.
Taking a look at the InfoTrack report, which was released on towards the end of 2025, and we saw the head of state, that is President William Ruto, is leading as the most preferred candidate by 28%, and following closely is Fred Matiang'i, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who's in the Jubilee Party with 13%, Stephen Kalonzo with 12%, Babu Owino with 7%, Rigathi Gachagua with 5%, Martha Karua and David Maraga with 2% each. Now, what do you make, HABUBA, of this particular poll?
You know, Mr. Steve, as the voice of the voiceless in the society, let me impact some, not full, but some knowledge to the InfoTrack, and from today and henceforth, they needed to understand that we Kenyans, we have never seen them even in the ground coming to ask us or to give us even interview about the views, the overviews of this country. And you know, putting the ruling president as the leading, wao pia wanatanganya kama uongo tu wa serikali ambayo inatawala. That percentage wangepaswa, we as the citizen, now I'm talking as the Kenyan citizen, wangepaswa wape Dr. Matiang'i as the leading, and even that is the nafasi ya president pale waweke Matiang'i, and hiyo nafasi wape Babu Owino as the favorites of Kenyans, because we don't know those people. The InfoTrack also, it is corrupt. They are corrupted because hatujawahi waona, hatuwajui, we don't know even their directors. They are misleading Kenyans, and also they are misleading those politicians in the name of money, because wao wanatoa kitu kidogo niweke ndio tupumbaze wa Kenya. But now the problem now, the Kenyans we have si wa kupumbaza. So InfoTracks tunahitaji tuone kwa ground, wakija hata pia tuone kwa TV, National TV wakija kutuambia vile wanafanyanga hiyo research na wanaweka hiyo graphic.
All right, now Mr. Okello, Stephen, the same InfoTrack poll of 2025, you know, gave out, a perceived successor to the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, and the leading is actually Babu Owino with 33%, Honorable Oburu Oginga with 10%, Gladys Wanga with 7%, James Orengo with 4%, Opiyo Wandayi with 2%, Raymond Omolo with 2%, and John Badi with 1%, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o 1%, Dr. Miguna 1%, Winnie Odinga and Ochilo Oyako with 1%. Now, what do you make of, this poll, the perceived successors to the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga?
You see, the InfoTrack needed to be serious at times, because Babu Owino never said or quoted anywhere to be the successor of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Yeah.
These people they are quoting, they have never said You see that. Then for the presidential candidate, is their preferred. According to me, is there. Because even Babu Owino is now talking of being a governor, not the president. So let us not confuse, Infotrack should not confuse governor and the president, because Babu Owino have never said that he wants to be the president of Kenya. He only said he wants to vie for the governor. So Infotrack should check their facts right first. And again, for Mr. President, William Samoei Ruto also have never told the public that he will be vying for the second term in 2027. So why do Infotrack put words on their mouths? Let them to talk by themselves. If Mr. President say, now I've done this for the country, now I want the second term. He will go for the second term. But if he has not said, he can say, I want just to serve country for one term and go. So why do Infotrack force Mr. President to fight for the second term and he has not said so?
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. J. HABUBA, we've seen, some members of ODM actually saying, all right, now we've seen some leaders in the ODM party actually saying that, they're in broad base, they want to unite Kenyans and whatnot. And from where you sit, can, ODM realistically preach, discipline and unity when its top leaders actually are openly contradicting each others in public arena?
Before they say that they want to unite Kenyans, first, they must unite themselves as ODM party. And they must show discipline to Kenyans. They must behave. Because now, tutasema aje they want to unite Kenyans. We ushawaona matusi yenye Juneti Muhammad anatoa kwa social media. And we have young leaders wenye wana aspire kuwa yeye. We saw something, all Kenyans. Kitu yenye Kaluma alisema over Babu Owino jana about reviewing the video. Now, because they are watu wenyewe, they are in some they are in discipline, and some they are disciplined. So before coming out to this large country, the motherland Kenya, they must unite themselves, and they must be disciplined and behave. After that, sasa wakuje nje, wakuje watuambia kwamba they want to unite us.
In the this uniform of unity, who should come clear and make things to move right in ODM party is Dr. Oburu Odinga.
Right.
This guy has a lot of wisdom. Then he should not just be seated down there, seeing this antagonist war in between these young people. He should come clear and make things right to these people. Then there you say you are wrong and you need to correct, and the disciplinary committee takes over on what has happened. Even Peter Kaluma uttering such words on social media in today's world and today's technology, and you are a leader, it doesn't sound well, because this guy, he was once beaten during the nomination, the same Peter Kaluma, with his area, the area people of Homa Bay. And this was just like a lesson telling him, now we are putting you on the right side. So as the party leader of ODM, Oburu Odinga should come out clear and put house in order, because the house is not in order. There are some people saying left, some people saying right. He's now the party leader. And one word from him can make the unity of this party to go and build the nation.
All right, now even as we wind up, with the public spots and conflicting, alliances, can ODM convince, sell itself to the Kenyans even as we head towards 2027?
Yeah.
Can they win back the trust of Kenyans?
They can still win the trust, because Sifuna is there. Is being supported by people. Babu Owino is there. Is being supported by people. Winnie Odinga is there. Is supported by people. So these people, they need to tame their mouth. The rest need to tame their mouth. They should know what to say and what not to say in public. Whatever they are saying in public that makes people to fight left, center, they should say inside the door wapigane hapo kwa nyumba, they square everything. Ikikuja kwa public, they speak one voice. You see, unity can make ODM to go far, but disunity in that party, it can even scatter the country. Correct. Because half of the country, almost 3/4 of the country are members of ODM. That's the fact. Almost 3/4 of the country are members of the ODM. Na hii party ikivunjika katikati hivi means some people will support this side, some people will support this side. Then there will not be unity in the country. Because for the unity to be in the country, every party, they have to have unity. Hizi small parties watafuata big party like ODM because ODM is united. Then they will say, there's a time Gachagua, the former DP, said he liked the brain Baba is bringing on board in ODM. Unaona? Why the brain? He likes the brain because he like how things are being calculated for successful of 1 inch, not for only someone's benefits. Right? So when this party leader sees something in ODM, then the ODM itself is starting having the cracks and they want to divide. They need to collect themselves and show the examples to the small parties to follow the country. When the small parties follows, the rest of the country follows, and the country will be in harmony, unity, and love.
All right, now, Mr. J. HABUBA, even as we wind up with, the public spots and conflicting, views, or the conflicting alliances, can ODM convincingly, sell its ideas or the ideals to Kenyans come 2027, or is the party actually, handing over to President William Ruto early, or rather giving him an early advantage?
If they correct themselves, na wajitenge kutoka kwa UDA, wakuwe as ODM party, Kenyans tutakuwa na trust now because they have able people, leaders, wale wanaweza ongoza hii Kenya na tuamini kwamba tutafika pale tutafika. Lakini bado kama wataendelea, mimi nitasema kwamba upuzi ambao wako nao wa kurumbana wao wenyewe, even starting with the ODM party leader Dr. Oburu Odinga engaging with the president, then ODM has no way to go. But at the end of 2027, itakuwa reduced na tuisahau kwamba tukwa ikuwa na ODM, tubaki na jina baba ambalo tulizoea. That is all.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for making time to be with us here this particular night. I was joined by political analyst, that is OKELLO Stephen, and of course I was joined also as well with J. HABUBA, who's an activist and political analyst as well, and political commentator. This is The Insight. My name is Martin Masharia, and of course this show will actually be coming to you every Tuesday 9 p.m. Right? Many thanks, of course, keeping us company. Of course, on behalf of the entire team that made this particular program a success, we say asante sana, and of course, do have yourself a good night. And as always, let's do this again when God says we do.